All right, all right.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing this.
That's right. That's all right. Oh, it's cold. I've just moved down to May's house because there's better reception down here, but it's cold.
Okay. Do you have an extra layer if needed?
Yeah, I've got the fire going now, so that should start getting the benefit now.
Frustratingly, Nicolas never confirmed, so we might just want to do other things until.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I said I'd open it up. What time does it start?
2 o'clock.
Starts at 2. Yeah, I said I'd open it up at 1:30, so people might start coming in then anyway. So yeah. I mean, I'm happy if you want to turn off your camera and turn off your mic so we can get on with things in private.
Cool.
All right.
Hi, Nicolas.
Hello.
Hi, Nicolas. You're right.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Whereabouts are you calling from, Nicolas?
I'm calling from Blacksburg, Virginia.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it early in the morning there, or?
It's 8:30 here. So
okay. Not too bad.
Will you be joined by your colleagues for the test as well, or is it just you to make sure you can share your screen and things like that?
I'm not quite sure if the others are showing up for the test. But yeah, I will be seeing if I can share my screen. So
I'll have to make you co-host to share the screen because I've had trouble with that before. So there you go. You're co-host, so it should be all right now.
Are you familiar with Zoom?
yes, we use it extensively here.
Okay.
So yeah. Go. All right.
Perfect. Yeah, we can see that.
Good.
All right.
Do you have any sound, or is it just visuals?
No, there's no sound during this.
Cool. That makes it easy.
Yes. Yeah, I'll just have this short presentation at the beginning. Then it'll be largely asking some questions and seeing what others have to say. So
cool.
Okay, good. Look forward to it. Somebody called Christine is waiting to come in. Is she one of the speakers, or?
No, I don't think so.
No.
It's very early.
Yeah, fine. We'll keep them in the meeting room then for now. The waiting room, sorry.
Nicolas, if you can unshare your screen for the moment.
Yes.
We have a holding slide, which I'll share when people are kind of coming in.
Okay.
We have one of our colleagues who will do a very short introduction just to say hello to everyone bilingually in Welsh and English. And then we really kind of hand over to you to do the workshop as you see fit. But if there's anything, so Dave has all the controls. I think in principle, we've asked the chair to ask everyone to turn off their cameras and mics when they come in. So I don't know whether you want to invite people to put their cameras and mics back on if you want more interaction. What we found is actually people are quite shy. They use the chat more than kind of the meeting style, but you might have more success than.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. We'll be inviting people to, speak if they want to, but also inviting discussion in the chat. Just yes. Yeah.
So yeah, apart from topping and tailing, we'll basically leave it in your hands. That's so you're the workshop leader, as it were.
Yes.
Cool. Well, that's brilliant. Yeah, don't feel like you have to stay here. Do you know what time your colleagues will come in?
I believe they should be coming in shortly before 9, if they're not arriving now. I do know that one of them will be leaving partway through the workshop, but that obviously doesn't affect them arriving here. So
cool. Just so that we have an idea when we can open it to people. I think both your colleagues' presentations went really well yesterday. Have you spoken to any of them, or?
I have not spoken to them yet. We're meeting as a larger group later today. And yeah, the first item on that agenda is how did the conference go for everybody? So
that's quite strange. No, it's going to be talked about over there.
I know.
Yeah.
So it's the first time that we've gone. Well, I mean, we've had international speakers before, haven't we? But I mean, this year, because of Zoom, got a huge amount more. Right.
Nicolas, I can't remember if we spoke about this. For all the other workshops, we've, as you can see, the recording is going. We'll obviously chop all this out.
Yes.
Are you happy for the presentation bits to be recorded and made available afterwards? We wouldn't do like the Q&A and stuff, but
yeah, that would be totally fine by me.
Fantastic. because we, so on the Royal Commission YouTube channel, we'll have a Digital Pass 2021 kind of section, and all the keynotes and sessions will be there. And yeah, yours was oversubscribed, so I'm sure people will be very keen to see the presentation.
Yes.
Lovely. That is good. Just make sure. So how long have you been working on this project, Nicolas?
Oh, now I have to think back a bit. I think this project has now been going on for 2 years. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yes.
So it's been very exciting. I started this project actually as an undergraduate student.
Wow.
Yeah, right before my last year, but I was planning to also do a master's, so I was able to just keep working on it, which was nice.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's been really nice to kind of have the groups of people also in the other talks, to have a mixture of students and staff, and it's really nice.
Yeah,
so
it's been
in the same department, or is it quite interdisciplinary?
It's very interdisciplinary. Yeah, we have probably at least 10 departments who have all in some way contributed, I'm sure. So yeah, it's a great time to actually work with people from our departments, as opposed to just being, oh, everyone's computer science or something like that.
Yeah, and everyone brings something different, don't they? It's amazing. I've always found, my background is in English literature, and I then got into kind of digital humanities and medical humanities and stuff, and people from different disciplines literally just think differently.
Yeah.
Different default settings for how they do things, and yeah, everyone brings something different to the table. So it's great. And it'll be 3 of you this afternoon?
Yes, we're going to start off as 4, and then we'll shrink down to 3 shortly. And
nice.
We're just going through a very cold snap of weather here. What's it like with you out there?
Oh, by us, we seem to have snow at least in the forecast every week. Whether it comes varies a bit. I think we've had snow every week probably for the past 4 weeks. So at least once. Yeah, so sometimes it sticks around a few days just because it's colder. This week it's actually been rather warm so far. So
I live by the sea, so even though it snows a bit, it never really stays properly. The salt air it really needs to snow properly for a substantial amount of time before it stays on the ground.
Yeah,
you are, Dave, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit further inland, so it's it's still white here actually. Yeah, we had about an inch of snow a couple of days ago. It's still here. So it snows here about 2 or 3 times a year, I suppose. Something like that. So it's always a bit special when it snows.
Yeah, it feels special. Not a common thing.
Yeah. By us here in Blacksburg, it's actually been probably 3 years since we've had proper snow that has stuck around. So yeah, this year has been odd with getting so much snow and actually sticking around for a few days. So
what are the summers like then? Does it get hot where you are, or?
Yeah, it does actually get quite hot here. So it can be a bit less fun to be outside sometimes, but luckily we are in the mountains. There's many beautiful places to hike around under the trees. So
nice.
But yeah, in general, being here in the mountains makes the weather unpredictable. Simply, are those clouds going to actually move through the mountains to where we are, or yeah, it can literally change in a day. So.
And I presume you're all working from home as well at the moment?
Yes, yeah. So I am down here by the university because what I work on does require me to be here. But in terms of actually going to campus, that's a rare occasion.
Yeah, we've not been in the office for a long time.
Yeah, I've been in there twice since, well, in almost a year now. I've been there twice. So yeah, it's very strange.
Sorry, I'm just keeping an eye on emails. This is the time when people look at Zoom and like, oh, I can't find my email. Where's the Zoom link? And it's been very nice this year, though. Obviously, we normally the conference is in person somewhere in Wales, and we kind of a move between North and South Wales. But because it's been online, like Dave was saying, in terms of speakers as well, we have been able to reach a very different audience and connect with projects we normally can't connect with. So that's been really nice.
Yeah, I think that's really a big benefit of this, all virtual format. I mean, you do lose some of that in-person interaction, but it is nice just because you can have a wider variety of people.
Yeah, we hope going forward, I mean, we have no idea what next year will bring, but we hope in the future to bring it on as a physical conference, but with the option for people to stream things. And we kind of, because we have asked people before who were kind of further away and didn't want to travel, if they wanted to contribute via kind of Skype or whatever, and they've always said no. And I think that might change now. I think people are now so used to perhaps doing these contributions online that yeah, hopefully we can have a nice mixture. But like you say, there's something about a conference, like we always have a conference dinner, and yeah, you don't really have that interaction with the other delegates as much, do you, when it's online?
Yes.
Yes. How are you, Nicolas?
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
How are you?
Nice. Yes, very well, thank you. So I'm Angharad, so I'm just going to be introducing you at the beginning.
Right.
I've been doing it bilingually, so don't worry. I've gone off to another conference speaking Welsh. Don't expect it to follow. And then I'll just say a short wrap up at the end as well. So a quick thank you and remind others about the workshops tomorrow.
Okay.
Can I just check your how do you pronounce your surname?
Gutkowski.
Gutkowski. Yeah.
Yes.
Gutkowski. Thank you.
That's been one of the bigger challenges this year.
Yes.
Yes. Names. Indeed.
Can you say it once again just to make sure I've got it right?
Gutkowski.
Gutkowski. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's similar in Welsh with the emphasis on the penultimate.
Yeah.
Yes, I've gotten quite used to just having to tell people how to pronounce my name pretty much anywhere I go.
Where is it from?
It's a Polish.
Polish name.
Oh,
Yes.
brilliant. Nice.
Yeah.
I thought we still had Annie, I could have asked her. We used to have a Polish colleague.
Oh. Yeah. But I always just...
Is your family from Poland or?
Yes, on my dad's side, I think my great-grandparents or great-great-grandparents emigrated to the US.
Fantastic.
No, down, Marissa.
Hi, Marissa, you're right.
I was going to ask as well, Nicolas, do you want me to ask everybody to have their microphones and cameras off? Are you doing like a presentation to start off with, or how are you?
Yeah, so I'm doing a presentation to start. So during that time, cameras and mics won't be necessary.
And then do you want them to, you'll be able to tell them then if you want them to switch it back on, or if you prefer them to use the chat function, etc.
Yeah, at the end when we switch to discussion, I'll ask people if they want, they can turn on their cameras and use their mics, but we'll also invite discussion in the chat. So
great. So I'll ask them to put everything up at the beginning then.
Okay.
Yeah, they should come in with mics off and video off.
We had a few this morning. They were turning their cameras and things on when they're arriving and say good morning, things like that. Yes.
Oh, right. Okay.
I mean, that's not a bad thing as long as they turn it on.
I can once you start speaking, I can mute all. I may mute. I may mute Nicolas and Angharad inadvertently. So if that happens, then just you have to turn your mics back on.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
And I'll share the screen to begin with, but then when Angharad is finished her introduction, I'll unshare my screen so that you can get your PowerPoint up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to have a go at sharing screen, or are you quite comfortable with?
We've done that already.
Oh, you've done that already, right? Okay, you've head to the game. Sorry.
I'll say this when the other presenters come in as well, though. But what we do is we put the screen up, and then I'll admit people into the conference probably about a minute or so before 2 o'clock or 9 o'clock your time, and then Angharad will sort of burst into life a couple minutes past.
Yeah, what we did this morning worked really well, Marissa, didn't it? That if Angharad, when you let people in,
just let them know.
Yes, says we'll start in a few minutes. I thought that worked really nicely.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if you want, because I can see who's coming in. Because it tends to be that a lot of people come in all at the same time, and there's a bit of a burst which lasts about a minute, and then it kind of trails off. So once I think that burst is kind of finished, shall I drop you a message on Teams or something?
Yep, that'd be fine. Yeah.
I was able to watch the participants number sort of just go up. So every time there'd be a couple more people come in, I'd say something.
Okay, that's good. Can you see participants, Angharad, from when?
Yes, I can see there's 5 of us now. Yes, yeah. So how many? We've got 40 booked, haven't we?
Yeah, we've released more tickets because of the kind of no-show rate.
Yeah.
Hopefully we would have a nice number. Hi, Doug. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello, Doug.
Welcome to Digital Past.
Thank you. Let me get my video on here.
It said there's somebody in the waiting room.
There was someone really early, but it's not one of the speakers.
Oh,
so
okay, that's fine.
I'll admit Susie, though, she's just
as long as we're not leaving someone hanging out there.
There was somebody tried to get into this meeting about an hour early, so
that's really keen.
So somebody was very keen.
Does Doug have a PowerPoint? Do you want to have a go at screen share or?
No, I don't have anything. All of our stuff is in one set of slides that Nicolas has.
Well, Todd's just arrived as well.
Oh, can you enable me to share my screen, Dave?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
So is Tom the host for this one?
No, I took over from Tom.
Okay.
He was otherwise indisposed.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Can you see the slides?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And we're still waiting for Carlos, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah, I just forwarded him the Zoom information. Todd, since you said you didn't get it, maybe he didn't get it either.
All right.
We've had a few going into junk mails, haven't we? So,
I think that must be the problem, yeah, because I sent them out.
Yeah, I had a session yesterday and I got multiple messages for that, so maybe this one went into junk or something.
Hi Todd, how did it go yesterday?
Went well.
Brilliant.
I enjoyed it, Todd.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, we've had quite a few more people signing up for this afternoon this morning. I'm guessing probably on the basis that they saw a talk yesterday, which has prompted them to sign up for the workshop. So that's always a good sign.
It is.
Just so no one is surprised, all my Virginia Tech colleagues know this, but I will be dropping off the call at about 9:30. I have to do class, so but Nick and Todd have it well in hand.
Yeah. Okay. What we'll do from the commission end as well is that we'll mute. Well, apart from Harrod, we'll mute and turn off our cameras as well. I don't know whether you want to stay on the camera all the time, the other presenters, or whether you want to turn your cameras off. It's kind of up to you, really.
I'm an exhibitionist, so I don't mind leaving my camera on, but if that distracts Nick, I'll turn it off.
I'll turn my camera off like several minutes before I have to leave so that I can gradually fade away as opposed to just immediately disappear. Nick, you're not wearing your suit that I bought you. Just
You're getting the goss now. Where is the suit, Nicolas?
Oh, I had an unfortunate accident yesterday, and I was hoping that, would just avoid that by this more headshot view of myself, but I've been caught.
You look like you're on the football coaching staff, in front of the press conference background there. You got your polo shirt on. Can you tell us who the quarterback's going to be next year?
Yes, it'll actually be myself. I will be taking over all the positions for switching to a one-man team. It's a very bold new strategy.
Yeah.
We'll look forward to seeing how that pans out.
Yeah, I think we get a bit of college football on British television. We'll look out for you.
Well, my son's a big rugby fan, and he watched the Super Bowl for the first time. Was it this last weekend, wasn't it?
Yep.
And obviously sat in front of it trying to work out the rules of his rules of rugby that he knows, trying to work out the rules of American football and sort of.
Yeah, it's the forward pass that confuses the rugby players.
Well,
it's
and
all the
wearing
standing
helmets.
around. Yeah, and the blocking as well. I think that makes for a better game, actually, the blocking, because there's lots of gaps appear on the pitch, don't they?
It makes it more strategic, it's a little more of a chess match.
Yeah. We've just started our big sort of like British competition over the last couple of weeks. So Wales are playing Scotland this weekend. So the Welsh always get very excited this time of year.
Right now we can see your emails.
Oh, really? That is thanks.
Yeah. You're very busy.
I am very busy. Yesterday, when I shared someone's video, I thought I would mute myself, but I can't because then they couldn't hear the video. So I had to keep very still for like the duration of the video.
As you noticed, I got into a right mess yesterday with trying to present and speak in Welsh as well at the same time, because I've shared a video. Hey?
It's hard. And with I don't know if other people have the same, but at the Royal Commission, most of us have more than one computer screen. And when you share your screen, all of a sudden, it kind of takes things to a different screen. Mm-hmm. So you want it set up so that you can share your screen and see the notes, what you're trying to read.
Yeah.
It can be a lot to juggle.
It was. I think I failed.
You did great.
I failed. I also called David Tidir, didn't I?
That's fine.
Hey, David Tidir, so you're calling him Mr. Tidir. That's fine.
I'd read through that presentation so many times to make sure the Welsh was right. I just hadn't noticed the fact I was using his surname. I think I've been watching too much Tiddy Owen on the telly or on the radio.
Oh, yeah.
I've got it 13:59 on my clock. Shall we all go kind of quiet and screen off except for the speakers and
Yeah, if you like. I've still got 56 on, or 57 now.
Yeah,
but,
I was right now. We're 2 minutes ahead, I've realized, because my phone and our work computers are 2 minutes ahead to my phone and my iPad.
Okay.
So I've checked after yesterday.
Okay. I haven't got Carlos come in yet. That's the only issue, I think. But when I see him, I'll let him know. But oh no, here he is now.
Okay,
should,
cool.
should we admit him and say hello first and let him know what to do, and
Yeah.
then we'll start it. So. Hi, Carlos.
Hi, morning.
Morning. You okay?
Afternoon. Good afternoon, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad actually. Not too bad. We're just about to start actually, and so what we'll do is, those of us in the Royal Commission are just going to turn our screens and our mics off, and then we'll leave it a couple of minutes, and then it's over to Angharad to actually start the session. So I'll start the meeting now.
Are you? Carlos, you don't have anything like PowerPoint presentation to share either, is it? It's just Nicolas.
Yeah. We just have one. Yeah.
In that case, I shall go quiet and wish you a good workshop.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll admit all that. There we go.
Prynawn da, welcome. Fe aroswn ni am chydig jyst I bawb ymuno cyn bod ni'n dechrau. We'll just allow a few minutes for everybody to join just before we start. But for now, if you could please keep your cameras and microphones off. Diolch yn fawr iawn I chi. Rwy'n I funud bach I ddau arall I bawb gael ymuno. And we'll be starting shortly. A croeso cynnes I chi gyd. Very warm welcome to you all, and good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. Angharad Williams ydw I, rheolwr ymgysylltu a'r cyhoedd I Gomisiwn Brenhinol Henebion Cymru, sef y corff cenedlaethol sy'n cofnodi'r amgylchedd hanesyddol yng Nghymru a threfnwyr y gynhadledd hon, sef gorffennol digidol. Hwn yw'r pedwerydd gweithdy sy'n rhan o'r raglen y gynhadledd, a Virginia Tech sy'n gyda ni prynhawn yma, sef y sefydliad addysgol yng Ngogledd Virginia, sy'n ail ystyried sut mae addysg a thechnoleg yn croestori, ac maen nhw am arwain I drafod dylunio profiadau dulliau reality estynedig ar gyfer treftadaeth ddiwylliannol. Very warm welcome to you all to the Royal Commission on the Ancient and Historical Monument of Wales's Digital Past Conference. This is the fourth workshop of our week-long event. The Designing Head-Worn AR Experiences for Cultural Heritage workshop is organised by Virginia Tech, an educational establishment reimagining how education and technology intersect. Having enjoyed yesterday's papers presented by Virginia Tech, I'm sure it's going to be a very interesting workshop. If you missed the presentations, they'll soon be available on the Commission's YouTube channel. Leading the workshop for us today is Nicolas Gutkowski. Myfyriwr gradd meistr mewn cyfrifiadureg yw Nicolas, ac mae'n ymchwilio i'r croesdoriad rhwng treftadaeth ddiwylliannol ac XR gyda Virginia Tech. Nicolas is a master's student in computer science researching the intersection of cultural heritage and XR at Virginia Tech on the campus over in Northern Virginia. If you'd be kind enough to keep your cameras and microphones off for now, please, until invited to switch them on by the workshop panelist. Diolch yn fawr iawn i chi. Felly croeso, welcome Nicolas, and now over to you.
Right, thank you. So we'll be starting with a short presentation. So yes, this workshop is entitled Designing Head-Worn AR Experiences for Cultural Heritage. And joining me today, we have my colleagues, Dr. Doug Bowman, Dr. Todd Ogle, and Carlos Bautista. And first off, what are we going to be talking about today in this workshop? Well, we're going to be talking about the use of head-worn augmented reality at historical sites. So where we really want to talk about experiences that take place at the actual location rather than a museum or in some other context. So being at the actual historical site and what can we do there. We'll also be getting into discussion on design strategies for AR experiences at these sites. So we'll be asking some questions that we think are important to address when thinking about these sorts of experiences. But first, a bit more background. So what is head-worn augmented reality? Well, head-worn augmented reality involves wearing a headset to view virtual and real-world elements, which blend to provide new opportunities and insights. So in the top right, in the top left, excuse me, and the bottom right, we have two examples of headsets. So we're talking about wearing something on your head as opposed to using a phone or tablet in order to present the virtual content in the real world. So in the top left is probably the most well-known, the HoloLens 2. And I want to discuss a bit about the way you see the real world in different augmented reality headsets. So the HoloLens 2 is optical. What this really means is that you might have some glass or plastic that is used to help display the digital content, but you see the real world directly with your own eyes, as opposed to video pass-through, which would be like the headset in the bottom right, which is the Lenovo Mirage Solo. This uses cameras at the front to then feed through video onto the display of the real world. And that means you're limited to what colors can those cameras capture, what is the resolution of those when you're seeing the real world. But one of the benefits of video pass-through is that it works better outdoors. In our experience, optical AR headsets such as the HoloLens, it can be hard to see that virtual content in sunny or bright conditions. So for our purposes, which I'll be talking about our own project a bit later, we ended up going with the Lenovo Mirage Solo simply because of that added benefit of working better in an outdoor environment. And as for providing new opportunities, we have some images here. So we have in the top right, designers at Ford are able to, in real time, visualize changes to the design of a physical car by overlaying a virtual change on it. So that's just an example of what you could do. So why augmented reality then for history? Well, history in place is compelling. Being at a site and hearing there was a great battle here, or this famous speech you've heard all about, that took place right here. That is a very compelling piece to be tied spatially to the event. But it can be hard to visualize the past. You might be standing in front of some ruins, or you're told there used to be a bridge here. And maybe there's an image that you have available on your phone, in a brochure, on a sign that tells you what it looked like. But it can be hard to then go from that understanding to actually seeing it where it once was. So this is just one great example of what augmented reality can do, is it can bring in those visualizations and make them appear as they would at that time. You can take a historical image and place it into the environment and match it up with the present day landscape. You can take 3D models of structures and place them in the environment as well. It also allows our content usually not possible in a tour, not just any sort of digital content that you might not be able to experience while walking around a location, but it also allows for historical experts who can't always be there, perhaps, to look like they're standing right next to you, telling you about this place, this event, what happened here. And then in terms of why head-worn specifically, Well, it provides a less mediated experience. You might be able to present historical documents and maps and other content on a phone while you're walking around, but then your focus switches from the place you're at to your screen. So by making it head-worn, you're able to place content directly into the world, and they're able to more seamlessly blend together so that you're able to think where you're standing, about what happened here, while also looking at the content that's relevant. So I'll be getting into our own project a bit. So we designed a historical tour centered around solitude. It's the oldest building on Virginia Tech's campus. It was originally built as a plantation that had slaves, and the building has evolved as the university has changed and grown. What exactly has it been used for? So through this site, we're able to also explore Indigenous history, as there is a few key events that took place near here. We're able to explore slavery, an important topic that is still affecting history and the present day for us in America. And then we're also able to talk about how has the university changed, how have its needs changed, just because this building itself has changed as the university has grown to become what it is today. So besides those topics and why we chose the site, some of the objectives was uncovering those hidden histories. It's a building many people might pass through every day or pass by every day, but they don't necessarily know, here's what happened here, here's why this building is important. And it's really the birthplace of Virginia Tech, being the oldest building on campus. It's been here this whole time, and it really helps to tell that story of the university. So we're also able to address the historical significance of past events on the present day. When we're talking about that Indigenous history, how did that relate to the larger world context? How did the plantation here and plantations throughout America affect people? And how does that tie to the present day? And then obviously just the university history. If you are a student or a member of the faculty at the university, you're able to learn more about what exactly the university has been like and learn about how that affects its future. And then lastly, also just providing a unique experience. We could have designed just a normal guided tour, but how often are you able to put on a headset and experience an augmented reality tour? So we wanted to see what this new medium would allow us to do. Now, we are a team of transdisciplinary people. We come from all sorts of different departments throughout the university. We are students and faculty who come together to work on this. So we have computer science to do all of the programming to make this possible in augmented reality. But how about designing those models? How about altering any images that we need? Who creates these visualizations? Where does the historical knowledge actually come from? So for a project like this, it's very important that you have all of these different people who are able to bring in their own expertise and their own point of view to create a better experience. So our process, we conduct interviews, fieldwork, other sorts of research to generate content that goes into our experience. Maybe we have a really cool map that will tell you, here's where this building was in relation to these buildings that you never even heard of because they might not exist. Here's how the landscape has changed. Here we have the descendant of one of the families enslaved here at this plantation. So we're able to find all of these different components and then discuss how can we best incorporate this? And what we really mean by that is how can we best make use of augmented reality in order to enhance this experience? And just what do we want the user to do? What sorts of interactions can we support that will help them learn? Now, to get a bit technical, our tour was built in the Unity engine for the Lenovo Mirage Solo, which I mentioned earlier. It's that video pass-through headset. So all of the programming for Unity is generally done in C#. And we're building for Google Daydream, which is Google's VR and AR platform built on top of Android. Now, this has since been discontinued. It no longer receives updates, so I couldn't recommend it for your own project. So to make this a bit more general, you would want, if you were doing something like this yourself, to use Unity or Unreal, which are both popular game engines, and then choose a platform that meets your needs and build for that. Now I'm going to share a few short clips of our tour. So here at the beginning, we have someone who's aligning themselves to this building, and then we have a historical image that is overlaid. And they're able to adjust the transparency of this image in order to compare the past and present and really see what was it like back then. We also use these blue arrows to guide users' vision towards where is the thing that you should be looking at right now. In this case, these two markers that point out our locations. We also use blue boxes sometimes to guide the user around the actual site. If they're going to be walking around, they shouldn't necessarily have to remove their headset in order to figure out where to go next. So that's what using these blue boxes allows us to do. Now, we also transition actually to complete virtual reality in order to show the historical building. Here's what it used to look like, because it's hard to take away things when using augmented reality. So by doing this, we're able to still give, here's what it looked like, while not having to worry about the current building. We also incorporated some full body video, just to have a speaker who really feels present, who you feel you can have a conversation with. Although we found that any of the other videos that are not full body still provide the sense. I'm going to skip ahead a bit. We do incorporate these documents, and we also have narrators, historians who speak over them. They're able to point out specific parts of the document in order to help make sense of it for the person who's looking at it. Otherwise, they might just be looking at this and not really know what to take away from it. So we have these highlights that appear that tell people, here's something to focus on when looking at this. And lastly, here we just have an example of more videos being displayed. These here are all descendants of one of the families enslaved here. So bringing in their own thoughts on this location, which usually would be hard to do since this here is an outdoor setting. You couldn't normally display these videos, and you couldn't always have these people be present. But with augmented reality, we're able to place them into the world and always have them be there. So to wrap up our presentation, here's just some key takeaways that we had from our own experience so far in designing this tour. We direct the user only as necessary. We don't need permanent signs or other fixtures up in the environment in order to tell people, here's where you should go, here's what you should be looking at. We're able to bring those up dynamically so people aren't distracted or aren't always looking at something that isn't really adding to the experience at the time. Now, we did have difficulty since the headset doesn't know exactly where it is in the world. How can we be sure that people are in the right place in the first place? So at the beginning of that video, we briefly showed a clip of someone aligning a blue outline of the Solitude building. And so this is how we place users. We know they're facing a certain direction and they're standing in a certain place when they do that. And so that allows us to place the content that we show in a place that makes sense for it to be. We also use these 3D models just to gain a sense of scale. We might have been able to show a small model inside of the building in an exhibit, but that doesn't help you see, oh, the building used to be much smaller, perhaps. You might get some idea, but it's different to see it in the actual place. And then again, those video narrators just add a sense of presence. They're there with you. You're having a conversation. With that clip at the end of all of those various descendants, we ran a study, and one person specifically said they felt they were in a family reunion. So that's one of the benefits that you can have doing something like this. Now I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and we're going to get into our discussion.